Today, I want to talk to you very calmly. No pressure, no urgency, no need to convince anyone of anything. Because the topic we're touching today, it's not for debates, it's for inner quiet. Today we're talking about health, about the body, and about how imagination can trigger real, physical change. And before we go any further, let me say this clearly. This video is not against doctors, not against medicine, not against treatment. This video is about the inner background on which all of that either works or doesn't. Because you can do everything right on the outside and still live inside a constant expectation that things will get worse. And you can also begin, gently, without fanaticism, to change the inner scenario. And suddenly, the body starts responding differently. Have you ever noticed something strange? That the body often reacts not to events themselves, but to what we expect from them. Two people, same situation, same diagnosis on paper. One begins to recover, the other stays stuck. And it's not about willpower, not about discipline, and not always about the body itself. It's about the inner image a person lives with every day. We were taught that imagination is something childish, unrealistic, just fantasy. But if we're honest, imagination is the primary language we use to communicate with our body. Not words, not logic, but images and inner states. Think about it. When you're afraid, the body reacts instantly. Heart rate changes, breathing shifts, muscles tighten. And fear is nothing more than imagination, a future scenario you accepted as real. So why do we find it normal that negative images can harm the body, but doubt that different images could help it heal? Neville Goddard once said something very simple, yet very deep. He said that the body is a shadow of consciousness, not the cause, the result. And when you look at health from that angle, many things begin to make sense. The body rarely breaks suddenly. It lives for a long time in a certain inner climate. Tension, anxiety, expectation. And eventually, it expresses that state physically. But here's the important part. If the body can express a state, it can also change when the state changes. I like to think of the body as a very loyal responder. It's constantly asking, what world is real for you right now? What future are you living in internally? And it doesn't argue, it adapts. If inside you see yourself as a person with a problem, the body supports that image. If, little by little, another feeling appears, a sense of normalcy, calm, recovery, the body begins to reorganize around that. Not dramatically, not magically, but naturally. This is where many people make a mistake. They start fighting the illness. But fighting is still focus. It still confirms, something is wrong with me. And the body hears that message very clearly. The real shift doesn't begin when you say, I want to be healthy. It begins when a quieter inner knowing appears. I'm already in the process of recovery. Feel the difference. Not hope, not desperation, but calm certainty. I know people who lived for years with the same condition. And then one day, they simply got tired of living as the sick person. They didn't do anything dramatic. They didn't force positivity. They didn't deny reality. They stopped constantly replaying the illness inside their mind. They stopped checking themselves every moment, stopped searching for proof that something was wrong. And instead, they began, just occasionally, to imagine themselves as ordinary, alive, at ease. That small shift became the turning point. Healing miracles rarely look like lightning from the sky. Most of the time, they look very quiet. They look like the moment you suddenly realize, I didn't think about my body all day. And that is a massive change, because attention is nourishment. Whatever you feed, grows. If all attention is on the body as a problem, the body stays in that mode. When attention gently returns to life itself, the body receives a new signal. The danger has passed, and recovery mechanisms begin to activate. Imagination plays a key role here, not as visualization exercises, but as felt reality. You don't need to imagine for hours. You don't need to force belief. All it takes is a few moments once in a while, where you sense, what does it feel like when I'm simply okay? No excitement, no euphoria, just okay. The body loves that state, because okay is its definition of health. One more important thing, imagination works best when you're relaxed, not when you're tense and trying. That's why the deepest shifts often happen before sleep, after waking up, or in quiet moments during the day. Moments when you stop controlling and start allowing. It's like telling your body, I trust you. And that may be the most healing message of all. If you're going through something right now, please don't turn this into a struggle. Don't make it a test of discipline. Let it be a gentle return to yourself. Less monitoring, less checking, more living. And if you're listening to this video, it means this understanding already exists within you. You're just allowing yourself to feel it. If this resonates with you, subscribe to Anything is Possible. This channel isn't about fear, or pressure, or forcing change. It's about remembering that the body is not your enemy. Watch this video again, not for information, for the state it creates. And remember this, imagination is not an escape from reality. It's how you choose which reality becomes real for you. And from the inside, everything begins. Anything is possible.